a lot of you guys said, like, once you see, you can't unsee. So many of us are seeing these signs every day in our lives in real time, and we're just like, you guys were like, oh my gosh, that's why I keep seeing planes, or that's why I keep seeing coyotes, or that's what that means. And oh my gosh, I was seeing like these hawks like come and land in my tree every single day and just stare at me, and what is it doing? Like, why is it just sitting there staring at me? And what else? Some of the other ones that you guys have mentioned, like different businesses and stuff like that you guys have seen now on business vehicles and stuff like that, for those of you that are more like me and are spiritual but are still a physical being and are frustrated because you're like, well, I don't hear an inner voice that just tells me to drink a warm cup of water every time I have an upset stomach, and that's a beautiful gift that Anita has, like, oh my gosh. But not all of us receive messages that way. Songs are another great one, and waking up with a song in your head, or what does Sheldon call it from Big Bang Theory, an earworm. And those are examples of the universe, your guides, your angels, your higher self, you guys know I call it the universe. It's whoever it is for you, whatever it is for you, God. And God is a she for my daughter, and that's who she prays to and manifests to and tells what she wants to. And oh my God, I get to tell you that story. We'll go ADD and I'm going to tell you the story. So this past weekend we are at the park. She really wanted a kite, and it's been windy here lately in Arizona. So again, my daughter knows best. Kids know best. If we would just like listen to them, they have all the answers already. If we would just sit back and observe, whole nother video. But so we go to Target to shop for matching Valentine's Day outfits, and while we're there, my daughter wants a kite, and so I asked somebody, where her kite's located, and she says she thinks they're all sold out, but if they had any, it would be in sporting goods. And I'm like, this is a new Target. I've never been in this Target. We just got her hair done, it's like in Queen Creek, not somewhere I'm used to going. I have no clue where sporting goods is, so I ask her, and so they direct me, and so we go, we're over there, I don't see them anywhere. There's another employee there, so I asked him, and she looked on the app and said it would be in sporting goods. That's like their little phones that they carry around with them. So I'm over there, I'm looking, don't see him. I asked the guy, the employee, he goes, oh no, it says that we have them in back, but we don't have them yet. And I'm like, that makes no sense at all. If you have them in back, can you go get it from in back? I think it was like we have them in back in storage or something, and I don't want to go get it because he didn't say I'm not allowed to go get it. I don't know, but it was obvious his answer was no, they are not out on the shelf. So my daughter's really sad. selection of plenty of in stock and on the shelf kites. My daughter knew best. She knew. Well, she doesn't want the unicorn one, she wants the aerial one. So we take it out to the park the next day, and she gets great wind, and then it stops, and she's sad, and she wants it to come again. So I said, just tell God what you want, because she speaks to God. So that's how I word it for her. And so she asked me to tell because she's too scared to tell, to ask God. So I said, sure, I'll help you. So I was like, God, please. Well, there's enormous tires. Very squirrel. So, I say, please, God, like, more wind. Hallie, she wants to fly her kite more. Please, can you help get more wind? More. And literally, as I'm saying it, wind is picking up, and there's more wind. And she's, she was bawling before, right? Because there was no wind, and she was really sad, and she wanted there to be wind. And I'm like, okay, like, sure, you already flew it a bunch, but okay, sure, I'll help you. And it starts flying, and she goes, here, Mommy, you take a turn. And she hands me the kite to take a turn. Oh my God. I just about started crying on the spot. I think I teared up a little bit because I was like, she wanted me to ask for wind, not for her to keep flying the kite, but so she could hand it to me so I could have a turn flying the kite. Oh my God, so incredibly sweet. So I get a turn flying the kite, just absolutely beautiful. And so completely digress, right? Because I came on here to talk about cyclical trauma in science and all the things, but point being, kids are amazing manifestors, and they're just so pure, and they ask for what they want, and man, it's there. So whoever you speak to, I call it the universe. So I shared with you guys all the twin signs, but I never got back on to explaining why. I finally figured out why I was getting those signs from the universe. I'm not gonna have to. It was letting me know, my guides, the universe, was letting me know that I was having twins into my reality. People that are twins with me, people that are twins with my parents, my dad, my mom. When I say that, I mean reflections, right? So the person standing in front of me, I'm annoyed by them. I'm not going to give specific examples, but various reasons of why I'm annoyed with the person in front of me. It's because they lack boundaries and they're talking about things that I would consider inappropriate with kids, and I don't like that. And why is this presenting into my life? Like, this is great for a phase. What am I supposed to learn from this? Oh, it's because the person standing in front of me is a reflection of me or someone in my life, and it's to help me learn from and grow from what is it that I don't like about that person, because it helps me learn and grow. Okay, this is what I don't like. Is it something that I need to change about myself, or is it something that I need to realize, like the boundary thing? Oh, that's my mom. judgment. All the judgment. And she's saying this to a young child. Hello, lack of boundaries and passing on your hate to a young child. Completely oblivious to how inappropriate that is, right? And now it makes so much sense that there had to have been something there. I do know that my grandma, my mom's mom, placed a lot of importance on looks. There had to have been, because my mom is obsessed with the way she looks. She won't leave the house without hair done, makeup done. Her sister, my aunt, passed away from anorexia. Bulimia. She had both. Obsessed with the Food Network channel, cooking all the delicious food, but would not eat it. And when she did, the like spoonful or two that she did eat, she would, I guess, I don't remember this part, but my mom told me, we talked about it, she would get up and she would go throw up. Well, that makes sense. My mom is racist against obese people. What is that called? Weightist? Yeah, she's weightist. It's not racist because she's not, but my uncle, her brother, is. So yeah, she's weightist. She is very hateful towards people that are not petite. Passing that on. And I realized that the universe was putting people in my life that were borderline, lacking borders, boundaries. And it finally clicked with the most recent one. And this was my aha moment to my therapist. And I sent her a text of, is my mom borderline? This makes so much more sense now. Okay, universe, no more. No more. No, thank you. Thank you for showing me until I learn this. And maybe also letting me know that I need to work then on my own boundaries and not passing on my issues to my children. And if I do have an issue with something, like, so for me, if my kids are dirty, see, judge. If they have chocolate on their face, because that's a judgment, dirty is a judgment. I am working on, when I get my 4-month-old daughter a diaper, when I do a diaper change, I am constantly recognizing and correcting myself and saying, I'm going to get you a new diaper. Because so many times I say, I'm going to get you a clean diaper. Oh, wow, does that imply that you are dirty? That your bodily functions that are a complete, normal, natural, beautiful part of who you are dirty. Whew. Wow. And you know, I saw that with my mom. Christmas, was it? Like, my mom offered to change my daughter's diaper, and she had a poo. My daughter is breastfed. Her poop is nothing compared to, you know, like what it can be for formula and food-fed children. And my mom is like, ew. And I'm like, Mom, seriously? Stop passing on your issues with poop to my child. And I called her out on it, right? Like, that's not something I would have used to have done. I would have, like, kept my mouth shut. And I very much was like, no, Mom, stop. If it bothers you, I will gladly do it. It does not bother me in the slightest. Poopy diapers don't bother me in the slightest. Again, germs don't bother me in the slightest. I will go to a museum and touch all the things. You know, those, like, science museums where you can touch all the fun stuff. And then I will go to a restaurant and I will eat. It does not bother me in the slightest. Versus, like, my ex-husband used to have to go wash his hands. My parents have to wash their hands every time before they eat a meal. Cool. You do you, boo. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother my kids. They come in from outside playing and they just want to sit and eat. So anyways, and this is also, I guess, about judgment again. There you go. There's going to be a lot of videos that are going to involve judgment, because everything just is. We are all one. But it's our judgment about that, and that makes our reality. But we can choose to change our judgment when when we're not living in fight or flight. I will say that when you are in fight or flight, when you are in amygdala hijack, when you are just in routine, repetitive patterns, you can't. Like, it's just, there's no room for change. And that's why I love Joe Dispenza and Breaking the Habit of Being You. You have to get out of your routines. That was the best present that my ex-husband ever gave me. And I say that he gave me with my money because I was the breadwinner. Was a weekend staycation. And I went to the Hotel Valley Ho because they are dog friendly and because I could not be alone at that time. So I brought a dog each night, and what started out as a 2-night staycation turned into a 3 because they were running a special, turned into a 4-night staycation where I then left my husband. That was, I needed to get out of the muck to see things from an outside perspective, to be able to start leaving him. Guess what that date was? And here we lead into it perfectly. Cyclical trauma. That date, October 1st. Shit hit the fan with us. We got into a really bad argument. I said, I feel like I just want to go into the tub and drown myself. His response was, well, I'm going to let you go because I got to go pick up the kids from daycare. Well, that's because he lacks empathy. It is, right? So that started the process. Fast forward a month later, November, before my son's birthday. So his birthday is November 9th. I really don't remember the date that this was. I've tried looking at my calendars. I can't find it. But I had left him, but it was like I was still kind of teetering. And the universe was like, girl, what are we going to have to make him do to make you leave him? Because I was not listening still. There's such a strong attachment, especially empaths and narcissists. If you haven't read it, read Ross Rosenberg's The Human Magnet Syndrome. Fantastic read. So see, people that ride motorcycles, they don't wear seatbelts. They don't have the same fear, right? They just, and it's totally legal. ADD. There's, motorcycle next to me, not behind me. I honestly wear mine a lot just because it beeps if I don't. So I'm manifesting that my new car. That was weird. It sounded like a motorcycle pass. I am manifesting. Or maybe there's a way to disable that. Sweet girl taking a nap in the back. And maybe a little fresh air. So beginning of November, I was not listening, and I was still allowing him in our lives. I'm gonna have to pull over here and also the same motions, not listening, not doing anything differently. I did get the knowing during my NDE that it was going to wrap up at the spring equinox, one of those messages that I received during it, and it did wrap up shortly before the spring equinox, March 7th, and spring equinox was like a week or something like that later. Fast forward one more year, the universe was like, okay, did you learn your lesson yet? You died, you came back. Nope, you are still trying to do the same thing. You are still attracting the same energy. I had filled the void of a narcissistic husband with a narcissistic friend. During that time, it was the energy that was comfortable to me. It was exactly what I needed during that time. I could not handle the numbness. And when I say that it felt numb to me, when in reality it was probably close to what I'm feeling now, is a calm nervous system, because I wasn't around somebody that I had to walk on eggshells around, walk on eggshells for, and my nervous system couldn't handle that. I could not handle that. So I filled the void with a narcissistic friend who, you know, got me a little bit of that elevated feeling, helped me feel alive, because that's literally the only energy I knew my entire life. But it was like a step down. It was a friend that I hung out with, and not a person that I lived with and was around almost 24/7, because we worked together too. And so I did start doing things that I enjoyed, traveling, going out to eat, took up dancing lessons, but I was still attracting that same energy, because that's what my nervous system knew. That's what my soul knew at that time. So at that time, this is now heading towards October, November of 2021. So 1 year cycle. And I attracted Tanner, and it was my challenge again with a narcissist. And I was already kind of hanging out and dating who I knew was somebody that I believe was a narcissist. And so it was that challenge. And I remember my gut instinct when I first met Tanner. I didn't like him. I didn't find him attractive at all. But I ignored that. I ignored my instinct, my gut, my soul, and ended up hanging out with him, and ended up getting back into the swirl. The swirl that is chaos, is survival, is fight or flight, is all the things with Tanner, because it made me feel alive again, because that's all I knew. That's what my nervous system knew. And that challenge again was like, okay girl, like, are you gonna listen? And I did. And during that time it was also very challenging. That's when things were wrapping up with the divorce. And you gotta love the irony of the universe, which, by the way, if you don't know, my breast explant was April 1st of 2021. Touche, universe, touche. April Fools for me. And so March 7th of 2022 rolls around, and Tanner flips out. He had just moved in to help out with all the things because we were pregnant. He was triggered. His childhood trauma was triggered. He freaked out on me, unloaded a whole bunch of stuff on me, projected a bunch of stuff on me, and it was that weekend of March 6th, and March 7th, and I think so. It was that Friday, March 4th. It must have been that Dave and I met and we signed the divorce decree. And guess when it was signed by the judge? March 7th, 2022. The irony is not lost on me there. I am well aware of that date being a huge momentous date now for me of my growth. And that was the weekend that Tanner ran home to Nebraska. Yeah. Not Nebraska, Tennessee, Nashville. To go see his mommy, to go home to mommy, to go get attention from mommy. And I still tried to work through it for a little bit longer, but fast forward to April 10th, and I cut ties with him. And now, as I told y'all, I was then, she is such a pretty voice. She is so over being in the car, and we're almost to my daughter's school, which is great, but she is so sweet. I just love her beautiful voice. And so, fast forward to October, November of this year, Cyclical, and all those texts coming through, all those Instagram requests from narcissists, and it being the universe's way of telling me I am being challenged again. My narcissistic challenge until I learn how to handle the situation in a way that my soul likes. I will continue to be presented with these challenges, and I'm becoming more and more aware of this, even though I'm aware of it in other people's lives. I'll post some of those examples. This is what I'm experiencing in my life, and so, as you all know, then December shit hit the fan with me and my dad. Until I set that boundary that's needed for me currently, and that was to currently end our relationship, to kick him out of my house, which irony is not lost on me that he got in my face yelling in my kitchen, just like Dave, but just like what happened with me as a child growing up, and it gave me the chance to say no, that's not okay with me. I can't let you treat me that way. Find my voice. But I told you all, yesterday in that signs video that I am getting those messages again, those Instagram requests from narcissists, and I saw the truck with Roberts on it, which is Tanner's last name. And so I am being challenged again. This is my narcissistic challenge. And guess what? It sure is from my ex-husband. And so now I am getting the chance to learn how to respond in a way that feels right to my soul. How do I respond with compassion? How do I respond in a way to build his ego up? And everybody deserves to be built up. Nobody deserves to be torn down. And that's why I hired my collaborative, amazing attorney, Christine Reich, who did such an amazing job at handling Dave during the divorce. God, she's so good. And she was always so great at building him up and getting things done, building up his ego, stroking his ego. It was amazing. But she would point out legit things that he was doing a great job on. I just couldn't. But thank goodness I hired somebody who could. So that is me currently, and that is the universe giving me another opportunity to handle the situation in a way that feels good to my soul. So I will keep y'all posted on how it goes. And some examples of ways that I have noticed this in my line of work. Hi, Callie. Hi, Hobbs. Somebody is awake. She just woke up from a nap. So I'm going to go put her in her seat. We're going to go drive home. We were just at your parent-teacher conference, Callie. And look at what I got. Oh my goodness. And I just read through it and it's so beautiful. And I can't wait for you to be home and read it to me. I'm super excited. Oh, sorry, she wants to say hi. We love you and we miss you. Alright, so real life examples of other people, couple, just to better explain what I mean by cyclical trauma, cyclical healing, cyclical opportunities for healing. So I had a client who, as a child, him and his father were in a car accident, and his father did not make it. His father passed away, and this little cutie pie is gonna throw herself at my food, my mushroom soup, so I will be sharing that with her during this as well. You'll get to see her love of food. She's already that right there. So his dad passed away. I can only imagine, and again, just kind of some assumptions on how he would be feeling as far as guilt, survivor's guilt, grief, all the things. And fast forward to another incident that he had, an accident that he himself had, where he was with his family on Thanksgiving, and he got in the truck and drove himself home, and he passed out at the wheel. He had been feeling kind of off, felt like he was having some high blood pressure, and he passed out at the wheel and drove off of a bridge and became a T8 paraplegic. Because of what I do, I asked him, the time of year. That's when I found out that it was Thanksgiving. And that it was a similar, situation there. And like another car accident. And he was a recovering, and what she would say, everybody's got their own preference of wording, alcoholic. And, one of the questions that he was asked a lot was, were you drunk? And he was, I said I get asked that question a lot, and I was not. I was completely sober. Had been for a while. And now is a T8 paraplegic and is doing amazing things with bodybuilding and, being an advocate for hopefully others, through the field of bodybuilding as a T8 paraplegic. Of course, then there's me, who likes to often try to give advice when advice is not asked. I did ask him if he'd heard of Joe Dispenza, because, hello, what's the irony there? Like, the synchronicity there. He had not. I at least put the name out there. As far as I know, he has not been, open to learning about that. And that's okay, because that's maybe not his life path. But point is the cyclical opportunity, the cyclical event in his life. And I see this a lot with people. And another example of a mother who came to see me. One of my specialties as a doctor of physical therapy has been helping people recover from chronic pain after car accidents. Again, because there's that trauma involved. I was in my own car accident July 28th, 2011, and underwent lots of various treatment, chiropractic, physical therapy, pain management, lots of learning and stuff. I don't want to go too in depth there. But point being, after I experienced that car accident, I was then given the opportunity to help others heal from their car accidents. And I found that usually people would come to me 2 months to 2 years. They still do after their car accident. It's just one of my specialties, and I treat on liens, where we hold on to the bills during treatment until the treatment is finalized, in case the person can't pay for it out of pocket as they go. And then I receive payment from the attorney at the end of the case after it is finalized and settled. So I know. I told you these are real videos, and you get to enjoy this cutie by enjoying her food. She is seriously a little foodie like me. Yes, I just labeled her. She loves. Like, look at this. 4 months. Loves food so much. And I do baby-led weaning. Did not do that with my first. Didn't learn about it till my second. Now, more consciously doing it with my third, and this is great. I don't have to make any extra food. So the example is a woman who came to me for pain following a car accident. Amazing woman. Through the course of treatment, because I saw her for her car accident, but we didn't kind of put things together then. It wasn't until I saw her after, when I was working for myself and treating her throughout my NDE. That was one thing that my therapist had encouraged during my NDE, was that I continue working, because it is something that brings me so much joy. And it was kind of one of those things, as do my kids. They definitely help me hold on as well. But it was one of those things that when my kids were with their dad, it gave me a sense of purpose. It gave me something to look forward to. I was not treating a lot, when things got really bad, but I was still treating. I was even doing mobile visits at the time with my hands covered in psoriasis. And I was still doing all of that, and I enjoyed it because I still enjoy helping other people. And so while working with her, I dove in deeper about previous events. She had been diagnosed with Lyme disease, and so I talked to her about that. And she, wants to give unsolicited advice and send her Anita Morjani's book, that Dying to Me book. And I might, just because if I feel called, worst they're going to do, not look at. So But maybe I'm supposed to help get a message to her to read it, listen to it. Who knows? Maybe she's doing fantastic. So, we discussed her diagnosis with Lyme disease, found out that it was about the same time of year as the car accident. I think it was 3 years prior. I think hers was a cyclical pattern of 3 years in between. And 3 years prior to that, we found out all about the same time of year. She had experienced a miscarriage of a little baby boy who she at that time was not ready to grieve the loss, and she did go on antidepressants. And that's her journey, right? And that's totally okay. But that was the original trauma that we could go back to. Sometimes some of this stuff, originates from childhood, and we might not know it. Like my issues being around Christmas. I have one extremely traumatic memory of Christmas. Other than that, I don't really have any memories of Christmas. I don't remember opening up. I remember that we used to have to get ready. I used to have to get ready and be dressed and in a pretty dress before I could come downstairs for Christmas to open the presents. But I don't remember opening up packages, presents. I don't remember Christmas gifts. I have one memory of Christmas dinner, and that was the year that Beauty and the Beast came out. And my dad was yelling, so much rage that I was so upset that I puked up my entire Christmas dinner on my plate. And my mom took me to go see Beauty and the Beast. Like, we actually got out of the house. And then I remember later, my dad was jealous that my mom took me, so he ended up going to take me to go see Beauty and the Beast again. So, and we'll talk about being an empath in Disney movies another time. Some people can watch those just fine. Other people like me, that are empaths, cannot handle Disney. So, I love the way she throws herself at my food, at our food now. And so for me, it's no surprise that all my trauma would bubble up as the holiday months approached, because holidays were very tumultuous for me, hence not having a lot of memories. So another time, again, I don't know, maybe I'll just share because that's what I do, and I'm a storyteller, and this is me. As far as Thanksgiving, I do have a few memories. Those ones being when we lived in Illinois. Do you want more? Do you want to nurse? When we lived in Illinois, and we would drive across Michigan for Thanksgiving with my Aunt Barbara, the one that I talked about. That was anorexic, that has transitioned on. I think she comes and visits me. Her sign is flowers, daffodils, to let me know that she's here with me on this journey. And so we would go to her house. She would cook this amazing, all the flavors. I actually preferred my mom's stuff, the very basic, simple, the stovetop stuffing. And then I would always make my mom still do Thanksgiving when we would do it at my aunt's. And then I have good memories from those dinners there. Probably because it was with family, so my dad couldn't yell, so I actually have memories. as far as memories of our own Thanksgiving dinners, not a single one. Not a single one. Not even a, like, horrible I threw up my dinner on my plate. Like, I just don't have any memories from Thanksgiving other than when we would go to my aunt's house. Probably because my nervous system could calm down enough to process that and save that memory, because it wasn't so traumatic that I was in fight or flight. So, that's for me why the trauma would start bubbling up as the holidays approached. The stuff that I was talking about, end of October. I think it was like October 25th or something like that, which usually Halloween was good for me. I don't have any bad memories of Halloween. I have a couple of good memories. I've always enjoyed Halloween as far as I can remember. I have a good memory of my dad taking me to a haunted house, and I was up on his shoulders, and he was just walking through the haunted house. Again, I was probably too young to be in a haunted house. We're just gonna say parents didn't know any better at that time. They're finding out. We're learning this stuff now, right? So, we were walking through the haunted house. I'm up on my dad's shoulders, and as the people are jumping out, he's like, "Oh, hi, hello," just very nonchalant, right? Like, not even a big deal. And these two younger gals, I don't know how old they were because I was literally a little kid, came up to him and like grabbed onto him as basically like support through the remainder of the haunted house because because of his confidence. So, see, good memory from Halloween. I do remember he kind of jumped like one time. One of them caught him off guard. And then I remember him taking me back during the day. This was at South Glen Mall, I believe, in Colorado. He took me back during the day to the haunted house when all the lights are on. Nobody jumps out at you. You just get to walk through it. So at least they were onto something there for kids, so that it was like a non-traumatic haunted house. Haunted houses are very, very traumatic. That's the whole nother. Okay, just realizing that one. Just thinking about that one, I guess I should say. And I remember that there was one part in the haunted house where it's like you're walking on an angle, it's like sideways. See, and there was like a couch, and it was like there to catch you as you're like walking sideways if you fall. Like the couch is there to support your fall. So again, good memories. So for me, that's why a lot of my trauma would bubble up around the holidays. So it was in anticipation of Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I've had stuff with Easter too. But going back to my client who experienced, I think it was at the beginning of the year, like January, February, experienced a miscarriage and the loss of a child and just was not ready yet. So fast forwarded to 3 years, the universe said, okay, are you ready now? Diagnosed her with Lyme disease. And then still not quite ready yet. So fast forward 3 more years and was in a car accident. So it's the universe giving us opportunities to release things that we've been holding on to. Anita Morjani talks about that in her book, and there's this article and all the great scientific references. We all know how I feel about research, and yes, research can be great. You can find a research article out there proving what you want to find. And but it was an article that talked about that people who hold in their emotions are more likely to pass away earlier. And I think it's like a 70% increased chance of cancer. That's huge. It's like our soul just begging to release all this that we've held on to, and it's gonna come out of us one way or another. Soul Fever, according to Kim Jung-pain, another great author. If you are a parent He is the author of Simplicity Parenting and Soul of Discipline. His stuff resonates with me a lot. And he talks about the soul fever. And when we get sick in our physical bodies, that was already building up. That was at an energetic level that we ignored, or it got ignored as a child. So then they acted out, I believe, probably emotional body first. And then when that is ignored, into the physical body. And this is just from me being a physical therapist and doing what I do and seeing what I see. I have always said I work from superficial to deep. If somebody tells me, "Oh yeah, you can go deeper. You can do deeper. I can handle it," and I'm like, actually you can't, because your body's kicking me back out, and I can tell you're breathing more shallow, and you're holding your breath, or your breath is hitched, or So I've always noticed, and when I do deeper stuff, I do Reiki with it. I always have. I just didn't know that's what I was doing until I got my Reiki certification, 1 and 2. And so I've always said that, I tend to work superficial to deep. I do. I think we need to clear that energy field first, energetic, and then we, can go into the tissue, the fascia, and then deeper into the muscles, down to their attachments, along the nerves, down to the attachments on the bones themselves. So, I think emotional release is also huge with that. As you know, I specialize in what I've called somatic trauma release, and that is just helping to assist the person release whatever it is that they are holding on to, however it is that they are called to do. And that's one of my gifts, is to be able to hold space for that person on their healing journey. I guess that's my gift as an empath, is to be able to hold that space non-judgmentally. I have had to do a lot of work with not taking it on. That is still something that I work on, because I have definitely experienced a flare-up of my own symptoms if that client came in with similar symptoms. So I've had to do a lot of work not to take on, to set those boundaries. And so this client that I was talking about, the female, that's just another example of the universe giving her the opportunity to release what it was. And we got some major releases when I was working with her. Again, the next time that I got the chance to work with her in her home, I should follow up and see how she's doing. And trying to think if there's any other. So like Anita, when she talks about that abundance block, I think that on our healing journeys, we are presented with challenges in a loving way, as a little bit of a test from the universe to see if we are going to fall back into our old patterns, or if we are going to finally learn and listen and evolve and grow. And Anita talks about how she had that, room rented out to do like a seminar where people pay her. And then the woman shamed her for making money. And Anita listened and backed off. That was a little challenge for her, in my opinion. A little test from the universe to say, all right, Anita, you ready? Are you ready to accept and receive? Are you ready to do what you are passionate about and share your voice? Or are you going to still listen to those old programmed voices in your head? And those run deep, because those stem from childhood. Those are brainwashing at its finest. And So then I began experiencing my own financial abundance blocks until I started realizing, thank you, Anita. Oh, it's because you are going back to the old you. And the cool thing is this time of year seems to be when I make the most drastic leaps and bounds as we approach the spring equinox. So I'm excited to see the leaps and bounds that I make through the spring equinox this year. Like now it's like an exciting thing, and it's really exciting to see this confirmation that as I leave more of these videos, that financial block is lifting. Because I can't go back to the old me. If I do, I will go back to living in survival, barely making enough to scrape by, because I am not being true to my soul and my soul's purpose, and speaking up and speaking out on some of these more controversial topics and less spoken about topics, shall we say, because they're not the norm. They're not the majority. Telling people that I have compassion for serial killers, for Nazis, for, you name it. Feeling that the prison system is just so backwards. Let's dream up what else we could do, a healing sanctuary for them instead, right? And I have heard that prison can be great for some people on their healing because, give them some time to get out of their routine, get some time alone, meditate. Some people have profound transformations, and some people are in it and they stay in fight or flight and they're getting beat up on a daily basis and all the other things, and so, and that's just, something that I can see helping to maybe envision and dream up is a different system, because it's not my journey here to judge, to shame, condemn somebody else for what they've been through and what they've chosen as their journey here in this lifetime. So yeah, that's some cyclical trauma for you, some cyclical chances to heal. So I want to hear, again, always, I love hearing your guys' stories. It's so fun hearing about some of the signs and synchronicities that y'all experience. And now I want to know about stuff that maybe you had an aha moment during this of like, oh my gosh, that's why I'm being presented with this again. Like, it's because I haven't had the chance to fully heal from it, and I'm getting the chance to heal this time and grow. So I want to hear what all you have experienced. Yourselves. Let's hear it. What did you realize? What have you healed from? What aha moments did this video help you get to? And I love you from Lily and I, and we are going to go take my Prancy Wolfadoodle for a walk.